Hey now, welcome to Press Pass Live, your weekly podcast show for the OMFL, the world's oldest and longest online CFM. And welcome in. I'm the Commish, the founder, the host of Press Pass Live. Thanks for joining me tonight. I am running solo tonight. The other guys are watching their game. I feel like I'm off here. Yeah, we got to scoot over a little bit. There we go. The camera's a little off. It's bothering me, so I'm gonna have to get it messed with. Anyway, the other guys are off watching the Cowboys, so I'm flying solo tonight. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Thank you for joining me tonight. Let's go try to have some fun and maybe a relatively short show. We'll see how much we can get through here tonight. All right, let's look at some games that we just got through here recently. We're gonna look at week 7, 8, and 9. We'll touch a couple of games as we go through there. We got OMFL news back tonight. That's going to be a ton of fun. This is not what I want. This is what I want. We also have a highlight video by Mr. Priest that we're going to show at the very end. So when we wrap up the show, I'll stay on. We'll watch it together, and then we'll sign off for the night and maybe to go play some shooters. No, I got to go play college football tonight. That's right. I got to go ahead and get that in. Let's look at week number 7. Carolina and Buffalo. I got to watch this game, a crazy back and forth game. Buffalo made a run right there at the end, goes into overtime, and Carolina gets a massive play off to the right side. It was like a 3rd and forever. It was like a post route, corner route, something like that. Guy catches it, turns it upfield, and Bird gets a big-time victory here against Buffalo. Bryce Young playing pretty well. He did throw 3 picks, but overall, 299 yards, plus the game winner right there at the end. 56% completion percentage. Josh Allen struggled today, 188 yards, 1 interception on the day, and only 48% completion percentage. Jonathan Brooks, 18 for 112. Cook, 12 for 36. Receiving, Mingo, 4 for 124. He's the guy that caught the big pass, 80 yards, and he was gone. Shark, 5 for 81. Coleman, 4 for 79. Looking at some defensive stats, the top tackler was Rodney Harrison Jr. He led the team with 9 tackles. Oliver with 1.5 sacks. Wallace with 1. Brown with 1. Johnson with 1. Lots of guys getting in on the action. Solomon with 1. And Joseph Day with a 0.5 sack. And then your interception leaders, Matt Milano, 2 interceptions. Bernard, 1 interception. Jewell with 1 interception. And the Carolina Panthers come away with a big-time victory against the Buffalo Bills. Washington falls barely to the Kansas City Chiefs, who've been making a bit of a run here in the second half, or getting towards the halfway mark of this season, 27-17. The Giants with a 35-32 victory, a 3-point victory over the New England Patriots. Green Bay, big-time victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers, 20-7. Philadelphia with a 3-point victory over the upstart Nysonger Minnesota Vikings by 3. Atlanta falls to Miami, 17-14. First game without Joe Duke. Back and forth. These guys go at it. Miami gets a big play at the very end, comes away with the victory. Dallas on a little bit of a run of close games here. They win this one 27-24 against the Los Angeles Chargers. San Francisco with a 43-39 win over Joker and the Arizona Cardinals. Joker has been hanging with everybody to like the bitter end of all of these games and just coming up barely short. Seattle falls to Houston 34-31. I think we actually touched on that game right before we logged off the last Press Pass Live. Looking at week number 8, Carolina, big-time victory over the Cardinals. Indianapolis, a big-time victory over the Denver Broncos, 24-31. Colts finding some momentum over there. Cincinnati, 45. Chicago, 42. Kansas City, I said he's been winning a couple of good games. Dallas, a couple of close, funky games there for him. 24-21. Kansas City with a big-time victory. Washington with a 21-18 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. Jaden Daniels, man. This guy doesn't get a lot of love in this league. He sort of has an up and down season, back and forth all the time. He was a magnificent quarterback today. 66% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, almost 300 yards. Hurts, on the other hand, 2 interceptions on the day, 51%, 209 yards. Looking at some rushing leaders here. It's never great whenever your quarterbacks are leading the league, they are leading your team and the game in rushing yards. 7 receptions, listen to me, 7 attempts, 86 yards. He did have a long of 22. Brian Robinson, he has 12 for 51 receiving. McLaurin, 3 for 114 with 1 touchdown. Joshua Palmer, 4 for 88. And then a quick look at the defense. Nakobe Dean getting it done over there for Philadelphia. He's got 8 tackles on the day. Looking at your sack leaders. Luvu? I don't know. Anyway, Roberts, Allen, Armstrong, lots of guys getting in on the action again in this game. Chauncey Gardner and Smith Jr. And your interception leaders, Roberts, Dean, and Davis. Dean had a hell of a game for himself, keeping the Eagles tight in a close one, but wasn't able to come away with that victory. Houston falls to Jacksonville 27-30. Big time win for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who trying to find some consistency this season. But Houston, who's playing really good football in season 112. Tennessee with a 27-22 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. The Clippers. Oh my God. I guess I'm doing this show on Monday nights by myself. I'm too tired. The Chargers, not the Clippers, they get a 28-23 victory over the New York Jets. Seattle with a big time victory over the Saints, 17-6. Miami 28, New York Giants 14. Bill finding a tough way to get out of the season, man. It's not really gone his way. Tampa Bay falls to New England 35-32. If Tampa Bay could just find any semblance of a defense, I think his team would be playing much better than what they are. And then a quick look at week number 9 that's wrapping up here pretty soon. Miami, another big time victory. Undefeated with a backup quarterback, 30-28. Cleveland with a 31-14 victory over the Browns. Again, Tampa Bay struggling, only 8 points on the day. Falls to Carolina 24-8. Buffalo pulls away in the second half, a 23-12 victory over my Saints. Houston falls to the Colts. Colts finding them some momentum. Houston now dropping 2 games in a row, 28-24. Philadelphia bouncing back. Good victory over the Chicago Bears, 38-24 in that one. The Rams, I don't know if that game is played. Also, just sore spot for me tonight. I ain't talking about those teams. Jacksonville falls to Seattle, 20-27. Big time win there for Meek. He's finding some confidence now, able to get a couple of victories. Atlanta falls to the San Francisco 49ers in what I think was a really close game that ended with like a big play at the very end. Maybe a Hail Mary. I'm probably wrong about the Hail Mary, but there was some kind of big play that happened there at the end. We'll go review this game. Green Bay barely falls to the Bill and his Giants, 31-27. Detroit just getting a victory a while ago, 36-27 over the Bengals. And let's go look at this Atlanta-San Francisco game. Atlanta falling barely short there at the end. Penix, tough day. 3 touchdowns is great, but 3 interceptions, especially against the 49ers, it's always going to come back to haunt you. That yards per attempt also down a little bit. Scully, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had the long of 74, 20 of 29. Super efficient passing the ball. Robinson, 16 for 39. Scarborough, 4 for 36. So not a ton of yards, but some big plays there for Scarborough, averaging 9 yards a carry. Bigsby averaging 10. But the main guys really struggled, averaging under 1 yard per carry. I'm assuming he may have gotten hurt in that one, and averaging under 3 yards per carry. Also, not hitting our run pass minimum here. I think we fell 1 short of that run minimum for the San Francisco 49ers. Probably just a time of possession thing. Lambert, 8 receptions, 149 yards, 1 touchdown. London, 6 for 69, but 3 touchdowns on the day. That's what you call pretty efficient catching the ball. Baker leading the game in tackles, 11 tackles, 7 solo, 4 assists, 3 tackles for loss. Your sack leader, only Drake Jackson, he gets 1 on the day. And then a lot of guys getting interceptions. Jerome Baker, Deion Jones, picking off his old team. Mufasa, I don't know if that's how you say it, probably not. He gets 1, and Hargrave, he gets 1. And San Francisco sneaks out of Atlanta with the victory. Let's look at week number 10, 11, and 12. Then we're going to turn it over to Denbrew for the OMFL news. He's got a long one on the books today, guys. 6 minutes. I had to watch it. Be like, whoa, what am I going to do with the 6-minute break? It's a long, long time. But anyway, we'll give that a listen here in just a little bit. Chiefs and Lions, that sneakily could be a good one. Lions need to keep winning. Chiefs finding themselves some momentum. Dolphins and Bills. The Bills seem shaken at the very least. They're not actually finding sort of that powerhouse momentum that he had the last couple of seasons. I look for him to start to try to build that. He doesn't seem to trust the running game just yet. He's kind of getting gashed in the run game on defense. He's facing an undefeated team here in the Dolphins that have kept their momentum going, even losing their star quarterback. Broncos and Eagles might be a lot of fun. Colts and Cardinals. Cardinals always can hang with everybody, put up a ton of points. Colts starting to find some identity with that team. Couple big wins here as of late. Rams and Seahawks, that could be a great one. Meat Boy clearly has found himself. Logan continuing to build, trying to get a good reputation. Even though if you ask the Cardinals, he doesn't have one. Those two guys just hate each other. Look for the Rams to try to take this into Seattle and show that he belongs in this league. The 49ers, another team. Lots of confidence. He's back, boys, and it's never a good thing whenever the 49ers are back, at least for league-wide momentum. Panthers and Bird trying to find himself a little bit. This is going to be a statement game for him. Giants and Bears, that'll just be fun. Watch two guys who play their ex-old teams, their NFL favorite teams. That'll just be a lot of fun to watch. I would personally like to watch Ravens and Vikings. Nice Hunger's got some confidence. He loves to play big-time games and be challenged. And, well, Nipples, he's going to challenge everybody he plays. Looking at week number 11, Saints-Panthers. Hopefully that's a good one. I don't know. I have zero confidence in playing this game, and I probably need to stop playing it, period. That may happen at the end of this Madden. I got to go play a division rival in the Panthers. Hopefully that'll be a close game. Rams-Falcons, that should be a fun one to watch. Falcons did go on a bit of a fire sale. Rams went on a bit of a buying spree. They've built a really good team. That could be a lot of fun. Dolphins, Bengals, Little Koch feels a little shaky over there. Not sure what's going on in Cincinnati. Again, he's playing the hottest team in the league right now in the Miami Dolphins. I'm not sure when Duke's coming back. Maybe right around this period. Look for that to be a really good, fun game. Lions and Cowboys. Tim likes to try to hang with the big boys. Well, he's stepping in with one of the biggest boys we have in this league. Can the Lions make a statement game? They don't have to win it, but can they make a statement game that they're hanging in this one? Jets and Browns, that could just be a lot of fun. Denbrew is looking to kind of make a push for the playoffs. Cincyberg still trying to find himself. Chargers and Vikings, we already said our piece about Nicehunger. Pepper's a veteran. Pepper knows how to win tough games. That will just be a really fun matchup, a pivotal matchup. Broncos and Chiefs, it's just going to be pivotal about which way, which direction is this season going to go for either one of these teams. Bills and Buccaneers, division rivals from the past, whenever Maniac used to be in Atlanta. Buccaneers just completely shaken. His confidence is rattled. We've seen sort of Kevin Cannon in when this happens. Can he at least give Maniac and the Buffalo Bills something to fight for when it comes to week number 11? 49ers, Seahawks. These have been classic battles as we've gone through the seasons, the cycles, the generations of these guys playing each other. This is going to be a big-time matchup, and the Seahawks need a statement win. This would be a statement win to put him back on the forefront of teams talked about in the NFC. Titans, Colts. Reluctant, Mr. Broncos man has found something there. I don't know what it is, but he's found something there. Kobe has completely rebuilt his team this season. This is going to be a game that the Broncos can let the league know we're figuring this thing out. You better be on notice. Or can Kobe kind of squash that momentum and prove himself again to be one of the top teams here in the AFC as we get close to the playoffs? Finally, week number 12 is the one I want to look at. Seahawks and Colts could be a big-time matchup. Depends on what happened in the week previous for the Colts. This could be just a fun game. Giants and Chiefs might go a long way in both of these teams either winning their division, well, not for the Giants, but getting a wild card for the Giants, winning their division for the Chiefs, getting a wild card for the Chiefs, that game could go a really long way. Big time AFC matchup. Where are the Dolphins by the time we get to week 12? Is Duke back? I'm not sure. I don't know what his injury status is. Is he still undefeated? Is Kobe looking for his own statement win? Yeah, he's got the victories piled up. People are taking notice, but will he have that statement win? This could be a really fun game. Buddy Bowl. These are always a ton of fun. Little Koch is trying to find his team this year. Denbrew is always constantly in the playoffs. Let's see what happens in this game. Buddy Bowls are always a ton of fun to watch. What's another game here? Falcons-Panthers, divisional rival. Two teams fighting for the division, fighting for a wild card spot. Will be a lot of fun to watch that game. Bears and Lions. We've seen the Lions get a couple of big wins. Where are they by the time we get to week number 12? Where's C. Murder? Where's Colin? Where's his head at by the time we get to week number 12 with those Chicago Bears, and how's he playing? And then finally, Chargers and Broncos. That might just be a lot of fun to watch. By then, we'll have a really clear picture of who's sort of on the surface, like who's right there on the pivot point of making a run, and who's probably going to fall off and start playing for draft picks. We'll see where these two teams are by the time we get there. And that is a look at what has happened up to this point, a little what to watch for in the league coming up. Now let's go ahead and look at some OMFL news as we get ready for our next topic, which is going to be some commissioner power rankings. Yeah, I got my normal commissioner power rankings, but I want to do something a little bit different here today. I want to get over here and look at some standings. I'm going to give you my normal top 5. Who are my top 5 teams? You can see the top 11 here. We'll even go down to 12, 13, 15. There we go. Got a couple 4-loss teams. So half the league is still 4-loss, able to make a run, able to make a run at the playoffs, top 17 there. I'm going to give you my top 5, and then I'm going to give you my top 5 owners the way I define it. Guys that give me no trouble, guys that never give me an attitude, guys that are more than willing to have a personal conversation as I check in on owners from time to time, guys who get their games in, who make content, who are fully involved, who are all about the OMFL and all about the grown folks community and making it a better place and being a positive sort of energy and influence. Well, I'm going to give you who I think my top 5 owners here are in the OMFL. But before we do all of that, let me turn it over to Mr. Denbrew. Bring in the OMFL news here.
Welcome back to the OMFL news. We have been on a hiatus, took a sabbatical, but we're back midway. Here we go, season 112. We're in week 9, wrapping up week 9 tonight, hopefully. I am Denbrew, and this is your news. We'll get to some OMFL news, but first I'm going to give you guys some clues here. We're going to play a game of Who Am I? This is a current OMFL player, current NFL player. And I'm going to give you the clues. You're going to put your guesses down in the chat. No cheating. Put your cell phones down. Let's just make this fair for even the old guys. They can maybe they'll win something here. All right, let's go. Here's a clue. This is Who Am I? I was a two sport star in high school. I excelled in track and field and also football. I was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school in football. I was a high school state champion in the shot put. As a true freshman in college, I rushed for over 1,500 yards in just 8 games. Any guesses yet? Put your guesses down there. Let's go. Let's see. True freshman in college, over 1,500 yards rushing in just 8 games. Yep, I suffered a season-ending injury my sophomore year of college. Any guesses? I finished my college career with the 2nd most rushing yards ever in my conference. I was drafted in the 2nd round of the NFL. I am still on the team who drafted me. Put your guesses down there. I was once a backup to Carlos Hyde. And during my rookie year in the NFL, I broke off a 92-yard touchdown run, which is still the longest rushing touchdown in that franchise's history. I've been to 4 Pro Bowls. I have 2 older brothers who also played college football, and I have a cousin who is currently playing in the NFL. Do you have any guesses? I'm going to give you one more hint. One more hint. Any guesses before this last hint? All right. I played in the SEC. That's my last hint. You guys put your guesses down there below. Let's see who gets it. All right, then I'll give you the answer after I get through all the rest of this stuff. So we're at the halfway-ish point of the season. Quick look at the division standings. AFC North wide open. You got 3 teams with 5 wins, and the Steelers, they are far from out of it. They're right there in the hunt as well. AFC South, that's going to be led by the Titans, with the Jags still within striking distance. AFC East is led by the undefeated Dolphins, with the Bills sitting there right there at 5-2. The AFC West is just an absolute logjam. The Broncos are on top, but the Chiefs, Raiders, and Chargers are all still right there. The NFC North, another long jam with the Packers sitting at 4-4, leading that division. NFC South led by the Panthers at 5-3. NFC East led by the Cowboys, with the Giants and Eagles both looking to grab a wild card spot there in the NFC East. And over in the NFC West, the 49ers are undefeated, and the Rams are 4-3, and the Seahawks sitting there at 4-4. That's a quick look at your division races. One segment today and one segment only, so I'm going to get to my boos and brews. I have a boo going out to Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL. Maybe it's just me because I'm old, but I love people making money. I love people making a lot of money. I want everybody to make a bunch of money, but the salaries in the pro sports is absolutely out of control. And at the end of the day, it's us, the fans, who end up paying for these salaries, whether it's through ticket prices, whether it's us buying these streaming services. You know, you got to have Prime in order to watch Thursday night football. You got to have Apple to watch a couple of games. If you're an MLS soccer fan, you have to have Apple Plus. Plus, you got to go out and buy an MLS package, NBA TV, all this other stuff, all these different streaming services you have to have. We pay for the merch. At the end of the day, these dudes are making this money and it's all falling back. We flip the bill. So that's a boo to all the big time sports leagues out there. Another boo going out to College Football Playoff Committee. You had so long to figure this out, so long, and you came up with a 12-team playoff system that is absolutely horrible. I get the conference champions getting in there automatically. I'm all about it. But them automatically earning a first-round bye just because they won their conference championship is silly. Strength of schedule's got to come in there at some point. Arizona State, Boise State, love them, great. Glad they're in. Glad they won their conference championships. They're fun stories. I don't see them winning a game. Maybe they will, but they don't deserve a first-round bye. That's just absolutely asinine. And then I got a brew going out to Massimo. Massimo is absolutely having a killer season. In Miami, he's 8-0. His QB, Joe Duke, having a great season, 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The guy gets hurt, and we think, okay, there's the chink in his armor. He got hurt sometime about 3 games ago at some point in that game. And I thought, okay, this is where his chink in his armor is. This is where he's going to stumble. This is where the wheels fall off. And he turns to his backup QB to run that offense. It is 80-year-old Matt Stafford. And what has he done? 2.5 games. He's thrown over 700 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. Excellent job. Keep it rolling, Massimo. Great job over there in Miami. That's it. Back to Nate. Back to Press Pass Live. The OMFL News is back. See ya.
There you have it, Mr. Denbrew with the OMFL News. It's great to have it back, even though it was a movie. 6 minutes. Denbrew, what are you doing over there? Break those things up in like 2-minute segments. Give me 3 videos out of the same information. I loved it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love what we do when we give a little bit extra effort here in the OMFL. It's what makes this place so unique, and it's what makes a lot of really good leagues out there so unique. You see my hairs bother me. I didn't do anything tonight. I was just like, screw it. We're going for it. I'm not fixing my hair right before I go to bed. Anyway, let's get over here and give some OMFL power rankings. You can see the top 11 teams here. You got Dolphins at 9-0, 49ers 9-0, Cowboys at 8-1, Titans at 6-2, Bills at 6-2, Browns at 5-3, Rams at 5-3, Panthers at 5-3, Giants at 5-3, Seahawks at 5-4, Eagles at 5-4. So that's your top 11 according to just kind of record and Madden's power rankings there. There's a lot of teams I think that are on the rise. When we talk about the Seahawks, they're going on a bit of a run here. Panthers, Rams, Browns a little bit, right? There's a couple teams here that are starting to surge, and there's a lot of ways that we could have went with these power rankings, and a lot of different ways that we could kind of break them down and like who's in, who's not. I would be absolutely lying if I said that I watch every game and I'm totally on top of it and I know exactly who's cold at this point and who had a bunch of early wins. That's impossible. We go too fast around here. Too many other things kind of moving along. I'm going with my number 5 team. No fancy graphic today. Didn't even have time to get that finished putting together. But with my 5th team, it's going to be based off of what we've seen over the last couple of seasons. You got to go with the Buffalo Bills and Mr. Maniac. I know that there's been some struggles there. He's won some tight, close games. He's kind of snuck away with some victories, but he's still playing really good football. 214 points for him, only 126 points against him. This guy is playing really good defense. He's able to play just enough of good offense to make it happen. He's able to get the key stops, the key turnovers that lead to points. And he's a team that has been there. He's been deep in the runs. He's been to the bowl already this cycle. Look for the Bills to continue to be a problem this entire season. He just needs to find his confidence, I would say. And maybe I'm wrong about that. That feels like a lazy take and maybe one that I'm saying a little too much here tonight. But there's something that he is just slightly off, slightly askew from his team this season. And he's just missing like some little plays here and there. But even with that, he's sitting at 6-2. He's my 5th best team here in the OMFL. As my number 4 best team, I got to go to the Tennessee Titans. Kobe's completely built this team in just one offseason. He had a solid draft, a solid free agency. He played really great, got the right pieces in there. Man, he's got the quarterback that he picked off the heap, right? Like, he's paying this guy. He's playing exceptional football. And his team is sitting here at 6-2 on a 3-game winning streak. 249 points for his offense. 173 points against him, sitting at 6-2 and really feeling good about his position of making a run at the playoffs. There's some top teams that he's going to have to work his way through, but it does feel like as a whole, the AFC has taken a slight step back, which has given teams like the Tennessee Titans an ability to step into those gaps and make themselves one of the better teams in the AFC looking to make a run. If some way, somehow, the Titans can finish the season with the number 1 seed, you don't want to go on the road to go play Kobe and his Titans in a big-time playoff game. You just don't want that to happen. So hopefully for the AFC, the Bills, the Browns, the Dolphins can continue to keep their runs going, and Kobe can find a trip up because you want him to come visit you if you're in that AFC Championship game. You don't want to have to go over to Tennessee. Coming in as my 3rd best team, well, you got to go with the Cowboys. I just got to give a nod to the cap to the 2 undefeated teams as my 1st and 2nd team, and I feel like I'm being a little bit lazy, but it's just that Madden and I so far have agreed to who the top 5 teams are. Dwayne and his Cowboys are playing exceptional football. I had a small pause in my spirit because it was the noticing of some struggle games, including a big-time loss here recently, the only loss on his entire record. But I also know that Dwayne goes through seasons, crazy work schedules, crazy nighttime or daytime schedules, and that can kind of throw him off for a loop because he never misses games around here. And so sometimes he's playing these games on a very little sleep or with a lot of daddy juice in him. And either way, look for the Cowboys to continue to be the powerhouse of the NFC. Now, 49ers and Seahawks and maybe a couple of these other teams may try to make a case for that, but the Cowboys are still the cream of the crop. He's my 3rd best team in the OMFL. Coming in at number 2, I got to go to the 49ers. It was a tight race between these two. It's so easy to go 49ers as your number 1 team just because of the history of what he has. But I've got to give a nod to what the Dolphins have done, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. 49ers, rookie quarterback, big arm, some mobility, escapability, big-time players on the outside on both sides of the ball, defensive players that just swarm after the ball, make big play after big play. You can see it right here. 267 points for him, 176 points against him. He's on a 9-game winning streak, one of only 2 undefeated teams here in the OMFL. 5 of those 9 wins on the road. As a big-time player who has put together a team that's playing really good football, and I've seen him win them in multiple variety of ways. He's winning them with the pass game. He's winning them with great defense. He's winning them with the run game. Take away one of those things, he still finds a way to grind you out, be there at the end, and then make a couple of big plays to win a game. Guys like me can't stop turning the ball over. Guys like him get that key turnover late in the game that leads to game-winning points, and you just can't seem to find a way to beat him. The 49ers are putting the NFC on notice that he's back, he's plugged in, and as long as these playoffs don't happen around Christmas time, he should be okay to make a bit of a run here in season 112. And then finally, my number 1 team has to be the Miami Dolphins. Now, historically, maybe not the team that would be the number 1 team, but you got to look at what he's doing up to this point with this team this season. Tons of points, 275 points. It's kind of funny to me that he's actually scored less points than the Dallas Cowboys, who are more of a defensive-minded coach. That just shows you how good of offense the Dallas Cowboys are playing. But Miami has lost his all-star quarterback. And even with the loss of his all-star quarterback, Joe Duke, Stafford has stepped into this thing and kept it rolling. Even with a long-term injury, he has kept this team undefeated, scoring lots of points and just finding ways to win. That is what separates these top dogs in our league from mediocre players like me, and even less than that, players that really, really struggle with Madden. This is the separating point. This is the pivot point. This is what separates the big dogs for those of us who never even sniffed the playoffs. It is the ability that no matter what comes your way, what plays, what injuries, what playbook, whatever comes your way, rules, they find ways to win. And Massimo has built a hell of a powerhouse here in Miami. They've got tons of speed. He's calling amazing plays to spread you out, to really put pressure on you in a variety of different ways. And he's finding ways to get the ball to playmakers. And on defense, he's able to make just enough plays to lead to points, to easy scoring opportunities, and to make you have to take some chances. He is my number 1 team, and he's sitting here at 9-0, playing really, really good football. Now I want to turn the corner before we open up the mailbag. I want to talk about my top 10 commissioner power rankings of owners here in the OMFL, the way I defined it. And we talked about it at the very beginning of the show. I define it as guys who are just good to have around, good energy. They're not bringing bad energy into the chats. They're not being a douchebag. They're not having bad days. These are guys that when I message them, just personally checking on them, seeing how things are going, like it's good energy. It's a relationship. They're willing to kind of have some back and forth and let me see into the behind the scenes of who they are as an individual. Guys that sacrifice for this community, for this league, who do extra content, who get their games in, who just win, lose, or draw, always seem to be really good dudes, guys that I can point to new owners, guys who want to be in the OMFL and say, hey, you just be like that guy and you'll be able to get you a spot here and be one of our tippy top owners, no matter what happens on the football field. There are a lot of teams, a lot of owners that I could talk about that deserve sort of recognition and being on a top 5 power ranking. Go look at our OMFL owner Hall of Fame list. You'll see a lot of currently active coaches playing here who are on that Hall of Fame list because they deserve to be there. But I try to look at just right now, here today, up to this point, week number 9 here in season 112, who would I say are guys that are just really good dudes that you can point to and say, hey, you should try to be like them, at least the way they approach this league. Now, coming in at number 5 is a guy that maybe would not have gotten that label just about any other season before now. This cycle has been a good one. Before that, it was a bit of a struggle. Wasn't sure if he would want to come back for Madden 25. Wasn't sure if we were going to invite him back for Madden 25. It had to be a discussion, but Fleury is coming in as my number 5 owner here in the OMFL at the halfway mark of season 112. Fleury's been making his own show. He's been inspiring guys like Tim and Nicesonger and Priest and a couple of others to start making content, start making highlight videos, start using the tools that PlayStation gives you to start to put out content. That all really started with Fleury. And I gotta be honest, I didn't even know he was doing it. He wasn't promoting it like I wish he would have been. He wasn't putting it out there. And I was like, Fleury, man, you got to start putting this out there. I had no clue you were doing this. Just that little bit of effort, that little bit of energy brings in good energy. Now, I'll admit, I wish his chat energy was a bit better. I wish we brought a little bit more positivity. He can get a bit down. He can get a little negative. He can kind of bring some sort of not amazing energy into the group at times. But overall, Fleury's doing an outstanding job with engagement, with getting his games in, staying engaged, and creating a lot of content. Coming in at number 4 is an old faithful. I honestly could have picked every single board member here in the OMFL. Purposely did not, because this isn't about me bragging on the guys that I get to brag on pretty often, every single chance I get. But Mr. Denbrew is going to come in at my 4th best owner. I shouldn't say best. I should say my 4th owner in my commissioner power rankings of the owners in the OMFL. Denbrew is a commissioner in this league. He's a guy that I remember very early on in his career here. He and I had some tough conversations, some uncomfortable conversations. Honestly, some conversations that were not too kind about me and my leadership, but we worked through it. We got on the same page. We began to understand each other. And I feel like I've been able to better respect and acknowledge and appreciate Denbrew. And I feel like he's done the same for me. He took over the OMFL news and it kind of went on hiatus this Madden. And I reached out and I was like, are we ever going to get the news, or should I like reach out to somebody else? And you can see, bam, we got one right now for Press Pass Live. And that's the kind of guy that Denbrew is. He's helped with the deuce in a variety of ways. He's helped with scheduling. He's our scheduling guy here in the OMFL. That is never a fun job. No one ever wants to do that. It's the suckiest job you could ever ask for. You're always upsetting someone. You're always managing all of these big personalities and guys that mean well, but sometimes cross a big line. Denbrew's the guy that is really good at managing all of that, and a guy that I've really grown to love and appreciate it. Coming in at number 3 is Mr. Nicesonger. Mr. Randy has been an outstanding addition to this league. A guy that has been humble, came into this willing to learn. Reminds me a lot of a Dwayne, of a Dawson when they first joined, just like good humans who are like, I've never been a part of something like this, and teach me. I want to learn. How do I get engaged? How do I get involved? That's been Nicesonger. And it's been good to see the victories start to follow him now. Now, it's hard to win in this league. Listen, I am one of the worst owners here. I'm the commissioner. I founded this thing. I'm the prototypical hot and cold. One cycle I make a run, the next 3 I'm absolutely the bottom 5 in ownership in the OMFL. But Nicesonger has pushed through the losses. He's pushed through the FPR curve. He's pushed through learning why we play and how we play and how to sort of walk that fine line. And he's now started to create content and put some content out about his Vikings. And I think he has been one of the best examples of how someone can move into this league, start to find their voice, find their spot, get involved, and start to create content and bring extra eyeballs to our league and our community. Coming in at number 2 is an old faithful. This guy plays a lot of basketball. He is currently in the NBA Finals, both coaching, playing, refereeing, organizing, all of it. The scouts are watching him as we speak. He's a typical hot, cold player, but mostly hot. Just his confidence and his energy can be cold sometimes. He can, be one of these guys that you're like, I don't know if he's like a jerk or a good dude or what is he being funny? Like you can kind of misread Bird sometimes, but if you take the time to get to know number 2 on this list, Mr. Bird, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, the commissioner of the OMFL College League, you'll come to find that he is a really great human being. Now, he likes to play games really fast, and he likes to disappear sometimes. So if you can put up with those 2 things and his snarky little humor, well, you can come to find that he is an amazing human being. He's a Christian, he's a brother, and I've appreciated his willingness to run OMFL College, to kind of keep another opportunity to play and to engage in this community, to be one of the guys that's part of our shooter clan, even though we haven't seen him in like 2 months because of the NBA Finals. Bird is a great human. And one of the humans that I think, I don't know if he'd admit this, but in my perspective, the OMFL is never going to be his all-in thing. It's just one of the many things that he does here. He doesn't get too high with it. He doesn't get too low with it. He could probably let it go away one day and it won't bother him at all. That's just Bird's sort of even keel attitude and energy. But even though the OMFL is not his home, it's not his, thing that it is for a lot of us, including me, he still creates content. He creates the highlight videos. He gets his games in, brings good energy, votes, engaged. He's at draft shows. Like, he does everything you could ever ask for an owner, and he's coming in at number 2. And at number 1, I had to go back to the board. Again, I could have listed all the board guys if I wanted to. I purposely chose not to. So if you didn't see your name on this list, it's not because I don't think you're deserving. It's just like I got to pick 5, and I want to shine the light on some owners that I think are doing some really cool stuff. But Mr. Lost Sniper, just another classic, great human being. He's allowed me to personally get to know him a bit, get to know his personal life, his family dynamic and makeup, his professional life. And yet here's a guy that is strapped for time, is professionally successful, has a lot going on in his world, a lot of big time moving pieces in one of the biggest, fastest growing, crazy cities in America. And yet still finds time to play here, and not only play here, but run all these extracurricular games and activities to earn XP. He runs all of these like pristine, top of the line. He works with Cincyberg, who's another guy that's taken a step back in the last couple of seasons because of the baby and content, which is why he didn't make this list. Big Hurt, another guy that could have been on this list, but football, baseball, basketball, all the sports he coaches and life is kind of taking him back when it comes to content. Lost is on top of it. He's creating all of these opportunities. He's putting the votes together. He's helping me organize everything. And he never has a bad word to say. Never a peep, never a negative attitude, never bad energy. Gives me his honest thoughts. And he is just the prototypical guy that I could point to and say, man, if we had 31 owners, including me, that were more like Lost, we'd all be a better league and a better place. And I appreciate him. That's my top 5 commissioner owner rankings here in the OMFL. Now let's open up the OMFL mailbag. Mr. Wayne, I waited on this one last week, and I'm going to wait it on again. He said, what advice would you give teams that are struggling this season? I don't know, Wayne, because I suck. And I have no answers. I just passed for 25% completion percentage. I've been playing Madden for 30 years. I couldn't be more lost, more frustrated, and more willing and ready to quit than I am right now. And yet I can't give any advice to this. So I'll wait till you and Maniac are back, and hopefully you guys can give some advices. Kobe, the difference between a coach's playing style and team's playing style can affect our success as coaches. Who are some of the most adaptable coaches, in your opinion, that can either force their team to play how they want or pilot, I think he means pivot, their team exactly how they perceive it to be? I think that's a really great question. I'm going to pull up the owners list because I want to make sure that I don't leave anybody out that may come to mind. I think Maniac would have to be mentioned. Now, he's had seasons and cycles that don't go fully his way, but he is a good Madden GM. He knows how to build really good teams and draft really well. And at its core, that is what leads to the greatest long-term success. If you're able to field a team that can be competitive and overall wise, those numbers I think do begin to matter. You start having 89 overall teams playing 80 overall team. I don't care how great the coach is. There's going to be a gap of skill there that you're going to have to overcome. I think Maniac is one of the better owners at doing that. I'd say Denbrew. Denbrew is an owner that just is very consistent. He's always there. Another really good team builder. Maybe a moderate to a slightly above moderate drafter, but a guy that scheme-wise knows how to build a team to play his style. He's really good at surrounding himself with players that play to his strengths and making his team play his style of football. Even though the success hasn't been there, I do think Penguins is another guy like Denbrew that knows how to put a team that fits his style. Little Koch, a team that fits his style. Little Koch likes to stretch you deep on the outside. He likes to find those playmakers in the middle of the field. He likes to get the big play running back on his team. I think those two, even though they're not having the success this season or this cycle so far, those are also guys that I think would have to be mentioned. Kobe, you yourself, I think you understand your style. Maybe I haven't been able to see the pivot of fitting maybe the way Madden plays, but you're really good at making Madden play your way. And you have a style that fits you, sort of that ball control, going to hit you on a big play, but I'm just going to pound you right in the jaw 100 times before you know it. Play really, really great defense and make teams sort of earn it around you. And that does lead to success. And I think your biggest obstacle was you just didn't have the playmakers on that team. Now I'm getting into the NFC. I feel like I'm leaving a few teams out, but there's some consistency issues in the rest of the teams there in the AFC. I'd say Dwayne, he is probably the typical top of the mountain, what's it called? Oh gosh, man, I'm so tired. I can't think of it. The Mount Rushmore. There's the word I'm looking for. He's on the Mount Rushmore of fitting teams to play his style and also pivoting his style to fit that Madden. Really shaping, molding Madden, no matter what it throws at him, to fit his style of play. He's going to play rugged offense, efficient quarterback play, a solid run game, crazy good defense. He's going to take away the middle of the field. He's going to put some athletic players in the middle of the field, and he's going to attack you. And time and time and time again, he's the most consistent player that we have in the OMFL. I think Bill has to get a bit of a nod there. He's a builder, a team shaper, and it takes him and Colin, I'd put in similar boxes. I think he's got a bit more success than Colin, but both of those guys know how to force their team and take the long build to force their team to fit their style of football. Really good defense, big play offense, really efficient run game. Those are the kind of guys that those two seem to be, and I feel like they may take some time to build their teams, but once they get there, they're really, really good. I'd put most of the NFC South, except for myself, in the bucket of finding out. I'd say Bird finds out what Madden does well, builds his team to do that, and he is laser focused. I'd say Kevin is big offense. He needs certain tools on his team. He needs some speedy wide receivers. He needs a big-time quarterback with a big-time arm. He can build the quarterback. He can fill in the gaps. Needs a big-time arm. Needs some escapability. He's not going to use it often, but he needs it every now and then. And he needs the big-time speedsters. The rest he figures out. And then Big Hurt, also one of the more consistent players in the MFL. Top 7 for sure, arguably top 5. Needs to build his team to play really great defense. That really is where I think Big Hurt plays his best OMFL football, when he's playing really great defense, effective run game, good pass game. D-Money's right up there on the Mount Rushmore. Meek right up there on the Mount Rushmore, even in a small time. I think Joker quietly, sneakily knows how to build a team that fits his desires. And that maybe doesn't always connect with Madden, and maybe struggles record-wise because his style doesn't fit with Madden well, but he knows what he does really well, and that always leads him to building a team that just is going to fight you tooth and nail in the field. But when it comes to Meek Boy, when it comes to D-Money, they know exactly who they are, and they can pivot to what Madden does well. They can adjust quickly, not only in cycles, but in seasons, and not only in seasons, but in games, and not in games, but in drives. Like, these guys are consistently tweaking, trying things, and laser focused on what brings them victory. And I believe that those are the top end players that you've seen this cycle, or those that are laser focused. Nice Singer, what teams that are currently out of the playoff race that you think could make a run and take a wild card spot? Let's go over here and look really fast. teams that are currently out. No one is mathematically out, but let's go guys with losing records. Jaguars 100% can make a run. I think they could get things turned around. They're in a division that would lead them to some winnable games and a wild card spot. I'm always going to be a big believer in Lost and the Patriots. I think he maybe needs another season. Wouldn't fully surprise me, though, if he can make a run. Everybody else, I don't know, man. Colts, maybe. They got a 2-game winning streak going here. Maybe he's found something there. Texans were red hot, but now they've fallen back with a 2-game losing streak. Falcons start out great, solid team. Fire sale, 2-game losing streak. Everybody else, totally out of it. I don't know. That's a tough one, but that's kind of the best one I could give you. I think those are the best teams that can make a run. Back to Nice Hunger. What do you feel it takes to have a successful run game in this Madden? Athletic offensive lineman and one of two things. Either a very strong running back that's hard to bring down or a speedster. And if you have the combination of the two, then you're crazy dynamic. I mean, let's look at the leaders really fast. Walker, 729 and 9. Pollard, 717 and 10. Hall, 714 and 7. McMullen, 672 and 11. Brooks, 635 and 10. Weatherspoon, 634 and 6. Jacobs, 627 and 12, right? A lot of these guys are going to be speed guys, some mixed with strength, right? Walker's speed, strength. I think Pollard's mainly a speed guy. Hall, speed and streak. McMullen, mainly a speed guy. Brooks, mainly a speed guy. Weatherspoon, mainly a speed guy. Jacobs, strong. Barkley, strong. Right now, we got a little bit of a sprinkling, and I think all of these are going to really be around athletic offensive linemen, guys that can pull really easy, guys that can get out there on that second level. And if that first level gets even semi-blocked up and you start getting offensive linemen on the second level, it's over. That's the one thing that I wish was better represented in Madden. And, I'm thinking about what's going to help us. Maybe if we go to All Madden after this season, we see a difference. I don't know. I haven't played much All Madden. But the constant perfect blocking on run plays is maddening. I've seen so many plays where you don't have to make one man miss. It is untouched, third level, running away from it on the sidelines. That can be really frustrating, and I wish was better represented in Madden as not realistic. Kobe, how important do you think morale is to a team and how they perform? I think it's crazy important. Yeah, I'll prove a point. I can't believe I'm last in all these categories. It's stupid. I'm just going to show my team. I don't care. I'm terrible. I'm trash. And this is my last Madden, so what do I care? Manage roster. NFL roster. My morale is crazy down. Anthony is a 92 overall quarterback. He is less 3 overall points. Hal is a 94, 96 overall wide receiver, 4 points. It's just murdering my team, and there's nothing I can do about it. You have to win. And so if you don't win in this game, your morale goes down and it affects stats. I think it's crazy important. I think it's one of the dumbest things that they've added that we can't reset. We used to be able to reset this so we could put it as incentive to give teams who get off to a rough start an opportunity to hit the reset button. But it's so powerful, and it doesn't reset itself easy. Even if you go on winning streaks, you can't reset it quickly. And so you get on losing streaks, it has this massive impact, and I just hate it. I hate everything about it, and I think it's way, way, way too powerful. Tim, at the halfway point, what teams have impressed you this season? I think I've talked about them. I don't know that there's many other teams I could talk about. Let's go view standings. Let's just keep whole NFL. Dolphins, crazy impressive by what they've done. 49ers with those rookies, that team, we knew he would be there. Cowboys, always there. Titans, really impressive, right? He built a team in one offseason, have turned those things around. Rams and Logan stepping into a team that needs a lot of help, a lot of cap issues, a lot of aging players, has built a team. Panthers, arguably the least amount of talent anybody got in this Madden cycle, yet he's been consistently there. Giants also in that talent bucket. Seahawks constantly building a team that just plays up to his style. These are teams that have been really, really impressive to watch them and see them. If I'm looking at some of these teams as sort of middling teams, I'm a little confused by what Fleury and the Jaguars are doing. I'd like to see a bit more consistency there. He did some weird stuff with the quarterback, but it fits for him. I'd like to see a little bit more out of the Lions. They've got a really great roster and really good imports, and yet he sort of hasn't been able to really take a strong hold. So I think those are a couple teams. What teams disappoint me? Oh, team, that's a tough one. Tim, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think my team, I'm just crazy disappointed in myself. I just can't figure out any Madden in the last two cycles. Cardinals, Bucks, Falcons, Steelers, Colts, Jets, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos, Packers. I thought he could get things turned around this season. Lions, we talked about them. Those are teams that I use disappointed very, very loosely. It's not that I'm OMFL for life, and it ain't that important to me. So I don't love the word disappointed. Teams that I thought would play better than what they really are and what they have done up to this point. I just thought you'd see more from those teams. Maniac, who do you think has their team set up the best cap-wise for current and future success when it comes to roster building? I want to wait on that one. I think that'd be a fun question to unpack with all of you when you guys come back next week. If you weren't a Saints fan, Little Couch, if you weren't a Saints fan, what team would you root for? I read this question before the show started and started to rack my head. Truth is, if the Saints didn't have a team, the reality says I'd be probably a Texans fan because they'd be the closest one. I've always liked the Miami Dolphins. If I always had to pick an AFC team, who would I follow? I really like the Raiders stadium. Such a cool stadium. Again, Miami would probably be a team. Probably Houston. Just because they're the closest team. I am the typical homer. I follow all the local teams. I am Louisiana, born and bred. I love it here. It's my home. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Love to visit, but because of that, I'm born and bred to be a Saints fan, LSU fan, Tulane, ULL, UL Monroe, Louisiana, all these teams. There's so many teams that, I love to watch and that I root for, and I hope that plays really, really well. And so, we don't have a baseball team, and I'm an Astros fan. I grew up 3 hours east of Houston, and they were the closest team to watch and follow in the late 80s, early 90s when I really got into sports. And so I'd assume if the Saints never were a thing, I'd be a Houston Texans fan and would have been an Oilers fan before that. So that's a really good question. Guys, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. My goodness, we got here. Talk to all things OMFL, and we're going to do something a little bit different. Actually, let me get back over here. My bad. Let me get back over here. We're going to do something a little different. Chat's been totally dead tonight. I don't know where everybody went. Clearly, people were like, nope, not coming to this Press Pass Live. Must be a really good NFL game going on right now. But guys are gone. Nobody wants to listen to just me. But Mr. Priest has done some really cool stuff. And what he did is he put together a highlight package. He got highlights from a bunch of people. He begged me, and I just never could make the time. And I'm sorry, Priest. I wanted to. I really tried. just work and life right now is just, it's nuts, y'all. My mom was diagnosed with cancer this past week. Our oldest grandbaby daughter, Stella, was sick and with us all weekend. So, I'm in my 40s having a toddler with me all weekend. The newborn grandbaby son, Adam, was in the hospital and sick. And my son and his household all have the flu. And it's been nuts. And so that kept me from helping. But a lot of you did help, and I appreciate that. What's up, Logan? So let me go ahead. I'm going to play his highlights. We'll watch it together. And then after that, we'll go ahead and we'll get out of here. If it's got some music, I'll let it play. If not, I will go ahead and put on some music. Mr. Priest, take it away. But the resolution's lower. So it was like, I think 1080p, 720p, and I've stretched it out to 1440. So the resolution's going to be a little low. Outside of that, I really appreciate Priest putting this together and everybody who helped him. Actually, no.
Number 20, Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
Number 19, the Houston Texans.
That's a big-time play there from Raj.
Number 18, San Francisco 49ers.
And that deep post, if you have time to get there, it's deadly.
Number 17, New York Giants.
I love the voiceover. Ooh, big. Oh, I see you, Jacobs. All right.
Number 16, the Colts.
Ooh, big time play right in the middle of the field. Those are so hard to hit. I feel like I'm going to get copyright strike for this music.
The Patriots.
Oh, goal line play action. Oh, whoa! That was nice.
All right, so Mike, now the interesting...
The 14, the Detroit
Oh,
Lions.
that one's blocked. Oh, that's picked up by Tim. Oh, he breaks the tackle, and that dude's gone. Was that a game winner? How amazing would that be if that's a game winner?
Number 13, the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, nice little run right up the middle. Those always feel good.
Number 12, the Dallas Cowboys.
He's so dangerous with Overshown. Ah, nice pick by Bill. He's just going to outrun everybody.
And number 11, the Dallas Cowboys.
Same game. Prescott going deep. Oh, see, that would make me so mad. They
Number
make
10,
a play
the
cornerback.
Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, right in a double coverage, making him pay for it. Nice hunger.
Got number 9, the New England Patriots.
Ooh, nice little outright. Nice cut. He's gone.
At number 8, the Green Bay Packers.
Priest and his Packers. About time you put your own highlight. Nice little throw.
At number 7, your Dallas Cowboys.
I can see that's going to be dangerous from the get-go. What
Number
a
6,
grab.
the San Francisco 49ers.
I remember this play. I was like, how'd Taylor get outran? He's my fastest defensive
At
player.
number 5, the Green Bay Packers.
Nice run, Priest.
Then at number 4, the Houston Texans.
He's so dang good. Raj is the antithesis of me. I'm the worst play caller on passing and passer. He's the best.
The 49ers.
Yeah, so he just throws it up, man. He's so fast. What a dime. That's a dime. Nice jerseys by
Number 2,
Joker.
the Houston Texans.
Bruh, I'd be so mad.
And your number 1 top highlight mid-season goes to the San
he's
Francisco
wide open.
49ers.
Yeah, he just outran everybody. What a throw. Whew, what a throw. Thanks, Priest, for putting that together. I appreciate you. I just realized, though, as that was happening, my vertical friends, you guys didn't get to see it. My bad. I got to figure out how to get it over there for you. I forget not everything transfers from the regular one over there to you guys, so I appreciate that. Mr. Big Hurt posted in the wrong chat. That's kind of funny. Yeah, great highlight reel. Thank you, Priest. Guys, that's going to wrap us up. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate you, buddy. Look, these shows are quicker when I'm by myself, but they're not nearly as fun. And I always feel like I'm the one, like, sort of, I'll wing it as we go because it's just so hard. Things go so quickly in this community, and I'm kind of over so much content. It's hard to keep my finger on the pulse of absolutely everything. But overall, I think the season's going really well. I'd like to see guys, really watch the play calling, do a bit better job on how we're calling plays and where we're calling plays. I'm having a little encoding error here. Tried to pump up the output and looks like my computer ain't liking it. We'll try that. See if that helps. But we're going to wrap it up on that. So I appreciate you guys for making content. I appreciate you posting. If you're making content, feel free to spam it in chat from time to time. Let people know, point them towards where to go look, because I want people to watch your content. I want them to comment. It brings really good energy into the group, and I appreciate you. When we come back, we're going to have a much clearer picture of what the playoffs are starting to look like. We start to pick down some, late season additions, like what award winners are starting to focus on, who's starting to float to the top, what are the wild card games starting to look like. It's going to be a ton of fun. Guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of those around you. Know that you matter to me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Smash that like and subscribe.